Hey bros, I have been wanting to start a small guide series to help you bros out. But to do that properly, we gotta start with the very basics, right? Today we're gonna go over the basics of blue side warning as a top laner during the laning phase. I think that's the most important thing to know, and you can get very far with the basic warnings. I could even probably get to master of only placing these wards in the laning phase. Maybe challenge as well, I'm not sure about that, but I could definitely get to master with only these wards. Right, so first we're gonna go over one scenario here. This is the most standard ward for a top laner. It protects you very well if you're equal to the opponent. So basically what you see here is a couple of circles which I made, and then the ward, right? The red circles is the danger zones, the green circles is the safe zones. So you want to try and keep the lane around the green circle at all times. So the wave manipulation you want to do is keeping it in the green circle. Which means you don't want to be pushing him too hard and having the creeps close to his tower. And you don't want him to be pushing you either, because then you can get ganked from the laning phase if the enemy jungler walks through the lane. The way to do this is, if you're pushing the opponent, what you need to ensure is that you're pushing him very hard. You're pushing him all the way in on the wave, and the wave doesn't collapse on each other close to his tower. Alright, here we have the second scenario. People start to use this ward more often. It's the most important ward if your opponent is pushing to you. There can be multiple reasons as to why you would want him to do that. Maybe he's stronger than you, perhaps you're playing Aurelia versus Jax, which is a lane where you want him to always be pushing you, because you have a very good chance of running you down, very good chance of catching you if the enemy is ganking you. But if he's close to your tower, he's not that strong. Because basically what Jax does is he pushes all the time, he stacks up his passive, getting a lot of attack speed, and then he becomes incredibly strong, and his third hit is also strong. But if he's close to your tower and you manage to freeze the wave close to the tower around here, he's not able to do that. And you will be able to win that laning phase pretty easily by keeping Jax close to your tower. Alright, here we have the third scenario. The optimal ward settings, in my opinion, to stay safe during the laning phase if you're stronger than the opponent. Your goal is to keep the lane in the middle or constantly push your opponent into his tower and roam/hide in your lane. If you have these two wards, it's very important that you don't randomly let your opponent push you into your tower. Because if you do that, the opponent jungler can walk through here, all the way through the laning phase and gank you. Which is why this is the red zone, the danger zone. You don't ever want to be in that position, because you're already stronger, you have the perfect wards for you, and you can control the wave and the lane in any way you want. Especially if you manage to place this ward over here before he managed to get a ward down. Because then you know if he's gonna have a ward, if your jungle can gank, you're gonna know exactly where your jungle can gank from, because you should also know if you got a ward over here. So your jungle gets a lot of gank opportunities by having these wards down. Basically, your jungle can run through the lane, he can run through the river, he can always run here because he can't have any wards in this area, because you have a pink ward there. And over here you should know if you have a ward or not, so he can also run through there into the enemy jungle and pressure the enemy jungler without them knowing, or with them knowing but you knowing that they know. Thanks for watching, bros. This is the first guide of many to come. It is the first time I do a video like this, so there's a lot to improve on. Leave a comment with feedback to help me and my editor make better content in the future. Since this is a basic guide, remember to share it with your Bronx5 friends. I was wrong. It creeps on back through color glass. Through color glass. I'll paint out the sun.